So far, this has been a great Sukkot. I've been able to eat all my meals in the sukkah, and I've had meetings in the sukkah, and last night I got to watch part of the Brewers playoff game in the sukkah, and I sort of sit and I get to read books, and I read the news in the sukkah. I read about Senator Menendez's alleged bribery scandal, or a scandal involving alleged bribery, gold bars and the whole bit. And yesterday I got to read about House Speaker McCarthy is being ousted from being Speaker of the House. Look, as far as the bribery goes, there's a verse in the book of Deuteronomy forbidding that bribery, any sort of financial consideration. It says, blinds the eyes even of the just, meaning even a good person gets blinded by financial considerations. All government officials have to be careful with that stuff. And part of what we read about this weekend as we go into Shmini Atzeret Simchat Torah are some core principles of Jewish life that can shed some insight into how we're supposed to live in a democracy. It's not just that at the beginning of the Torah we're told that all human beings are created in the image of God, but Tzelem Elohim, that's sort of an easy one, that everyone is worthy of dignity and respect. Also at the end of the Torah, when we reach the end of Deuteronomy and we read about the death of Moshe, the greatest leader Israel ever knew. And so there never arose another prophet in Israel like Moshe. And the people mourn his loss, 30 days. And then they move on to Joshua. And Joshua becomes their leader. And nowhere do they stop and say, well, Joshua's not as good as Moshe, so we really should just go with the old guy. They don't look for some ideal that's not there. They do the best they can with what they have. This is part of the core idea of how we form societies. We have an idea of what the ideal will be, but we also live in the real, and that's essential. One way we're going to try and ground ourselves in this is this year at Temple Shalom, we're going to do a project called the American Scripture Project. This is going to be a monthly class where we take a bit of American scripture, core texts that have influenced Americans, from Emma Lazarus's The New Colossus, to Ronald Reagan's Tear Down This Wall speech, to the Declaration of Independence, to Frederick Douglass's What is the 4th of July to a Slave. We'll look at these texts, read them deeply, the way we would read actual scripture, the way we would read the Torah or Jewish text, and we'll discuss and we'll talk about how we can form a functioning democratic society. We're going to do this together in a little corner of Bridgewater. Email me for more information. I'll send you links as to how we can prepare for this. And I want you to join me this fall, beginning later in October, so that we can study about how to strengthen our democracy, however we vote, and form a more perfect union. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach.